Live from iRacing's virtual Phillip Island. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship live on RaceSpotTV. Happy that all of you are along for the ride with us here on this beautiful Friday evening, wherever you're tuning in across the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is my colleague, Lorenzo Bonder, with our technical director, Hugo Louise, down in the virtual production trailer. Lorenzo, we're over halfway done now with this championship and going to a bit of a unique circuit. Phillip Island has been on the iRacing service for a while, but we don't normally hear about it. Not really used in the World Championship series, but it's here on the schedule, and it's a bit of a wild card compared to where we just were in Spa-Francorchamps and where we'll be in 1 week's time in Montreal.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting race. Phillip Island is one of my favorite race tracks. I did drive this last month in the Indy cars. Really good track for any kind of car, especially in these open wheelers, as we see the track map right here. And these have 3 cars. We expect to see a little bit of a pack race, as we're going to break it down to what the map track a little bit for you guys to notice the points of importance of this track.
12 total corners out here on Phillip Island, and a handful of them hard sweeping corners, high speed and needing downforce for those, and then we have a handful of hard braking zones down into a handful of hairpins that is also going to be passing opportunities for these drivers. But qualifying currently underway on the track as we take a look at the number 5 machine working his way around the track. That is Nicholas Rasmussen, who currently holds the second fastest time on the board at a 1:22.475, and you can see him going down the hill into the hairpin and quickly switching back. Interesting course to get speed on as well. Lorenzo, taking a look at those times. It's a who's who of names up at the top, but right now it seems like the normal series regulars and the drivers that are running up front each and every week are running up front here.
Everybody's running really strong over here. Qualifying looks to be really close, except for Adrian Falcon's qualifying lap, but that is about to go down eventually, so it's going to get closer and closer. But everybody that you saw from the usual suspects up in the top 5, even top 10.
3 minutes, 15 seconds left. We take a look at last week's winner from Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. That's Flavio Dantas as he works his way through the track, making his way through turn number 3 and down into the hard braking zone, turn number 4, known as Honda Corner, and that'll spit right back out into turn number 5 and 6 as we ride on board with the 2. And you mentioned Lorenzo, fastest lap. Adrian Falcon, what a time, a 1:21.565. He improves on his time as well to go even deeper into the 1:21s. Only other driver able to join him so far is Paulo Dreitas. It looks like Flavio Dantas going to abandon his second flying lap as we take a look at Borja Zazo making his way through turn 4 out into turn 5. We'll see if he can get himself up onto the board. Currently does not have a time up. The time's currently ranging all the way from the mid 1:21s, but the majority of the field in those 1:22s, Lorenzo, it looks like pretty much all the way down from 4th. You can go all the way down to 14th. I'm seeing 10 cars all within about 3/10.
Yeah, everybody really close to one another. I think the track kind of spreads out once you get out of P2. I can say even P19, P20, where you can kind of see everybody kind of like spread out because they are on the 22 highs and 23s. But still a very close qualifying regardless, as everybody, the last lap guy has been 1.6 seconds slower. But this track, again, you rely so much on drafting, especially going to Duhan Corner, going from the Gardner straight to Duhan Corner, which is this one, turn number 1, where everybody can just stay bunched up. You just have to do the line very much clean from the last sector all the way down to the start-finish line. So don't expect these times to be very spread out. This can be a very close race if they so allow it.
We're going to see if Borja Zazo can get a time on the board. It looks like that first lap disallowed, so he's going to need to try and put in another flying lap with only 1 minute remaining here in qualifying. Adrian Falcon at the top of the board. It looks like everybody except the 13 and Borja Zazo has put in a time. And we're getting ready to go racing in the 7th round of this Apex Racing Academy official F3 championship season. We're going to drop the green flag for 20 laps around Phillip Island. And as qualifying takes its way to the checkered flag, we'll grab a short break here on RaceSpotTV. Don't go anywhere when we return. It's starting grid from Phillip Island. To go racing around iRacing's virtual Phillip Island. Let's grab a look at the starting grid. It's Adrian Falcon starting on the pole, Paulo Dreta to his outside in P2, with Thomas Torp and Adria Salvi rounding out row 2, and Victor Balea, Nicholas Rasmussen round out the top 6. Kevin Zwemstra in 7th place, Flavio Dantes in 8th, Kettle Larson in 9th, with Thiago Spencer rounding out that top 10. Mark Van Dalen and Diego Acevedo round out the top 12. Further down from there, it's Yao Di Gregorio in 13th, Dante Mercado in 14th, Alexander Scarrett rounds out that top 15, with Victor Barris, Benny Perez, Michael Stanley, Ilya Yevstrin in 19th, with Mats Gestrombakin in 20th. Claudio Visparelli, Borja Zazo, and Dario Agnello round out your 23 cars that are getting ready to take the green flag here from virtual Phillip Island. Field going to take to the starting grid behind the number 1 machine of Adrian Falcon. Falcon looking for another F3 victory live on RaceSpotTV. The winner from 1 week ago at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps is Flavio Dantes. He's going to have a bit of work to do behind the wheel of his number 2, starting in the 8th spot. Waiting on 2 more drivers to make their way to the grid. Make that 1 as we are now ready to go racing. The lights will come up and just as quickly go out, and the green flag will drop at Phillip Island. Let's go racing! It's round 7 as the field dives to turn number 1. Already starting to get into a bit of a pack. 2, 3 wide as they race to 1. Everybody fighting for real estate as they dive into the corner. Falcon gonna lead the field by a few car lengths as they enter the corner. Multiple cars trying to fight for space. Some of them go wide. Everybody keeping it under them, however. Nobody spinning around. No incidents towards the back. Everybody races to on the corner.
Yeah, but here comes the dangerous portion as they get out of the Sunderloop, going to do turn number 3, and now into Honda corner. This is the biggest braking zone right here. Everything can get convoluted, and it does.
1 car over and around. That looks like Victor Barris might be involved. Actually, one of them around is Michael Stanley. The other one, Victor Balea. Mats Gestrombakin is the other one that is involved further back. 3 cars involved, the 9, the 22, and the 20. The rest of the field, all the way from 20th on, continue to race on the course as we go on board in the battle for the 4th spot currently on the track. You're on board with Adria Salvi right now in the 16. Falcon still leads ahead of Rasmussen. Torp, Salvi, and Dreta your top 5 as they'll go single file out in front of this field. They'll come onto the Gardner Straight to take lap number 2.
And we can start to expect those battles in the pack as we're going to go 3 wide into turn number 1.
They'll dive into the corner. How is this going to stick? All the way down on the bottom, going for the move is Adria Salvi. keeping the spot is going to be Thomas Torp. Nicholas Rasmussen going to fall back, but he's going to get the spot away. And there goes the 15. Thomas Torp off track. Into the sand trap he goes. Unfortunate for the 15. He overcooked it into the corner, went way wide, and ended up taking a trip through the sand. Luckily, he only went down to 15th. No damage to that car. We stay green. The battle stays up here at the front as now everybody from 2nd all the way down to 6th, just within a handful of a 10th.
Yeah, somehow, some way, Torp managed to keep that car relatively close to the track, but lost several spots. I'm just trying to look over here. He rounded out back to P17 here, Joshua. So it's going to be complicated for Torp to actually gap those spots back. Yeah, within top 5, maybe top 3. But it's still a long race to go. In a race with some attrition like Phillip Island, where you can race in the pack racing, it can happen. But it's going to be some interesting scenarios that have to play out right here.
Continuing with this battle at the front, Kevin Zwemstra trying to get himself involved in this fight as they race down the front straightaway. But he's got a mirror full of look who it is. It's Flavio Dantas as Adrian Falcon sets the fastest lap. There goes Dantas right on by Zwemstra, and he is going to make that pass look easy. Up into the top 5 goes Dantas, now to try and chase down the 3 of Paulo Dreta in front of him, as the field will go single file once again down the straightaway into turn number 3 and into the hard-braking zone of turn number 4. Here's the replay from that first lap incident. It looked like some contact for Victor Balea in the 9, and a handful of other cars making contact further back as well. I thought it was only a 3-car incident. Looked to be more of a 6-car incident there, Lorenzo, as a handful of cars got spun around. Not a lot of them getting severe damage.
Yeah, not a lot of them getting severe damage. The most impressive for me is Flavio Dantas, because actually he was the car that actually touched the back of Victor Balea going to Honda, into the Honda corner. I think got spooked up a little bit with the braking on everybody, but I told, like, if the main point of, I'm not going to say overtake, but the main dangerous point on this track, which was braking, is right there. It causes some attrition. It did. So everything that you have to do is just keep your head up and keep on racing. That's what they're doing.
Battle for the lead, just about non-existent. We go back to the battle for Pete number 4 on this racetrack, as multiple cars going 2-3 wide coming down the front straightaway here at Phillip Island, side by side. 2 cars racing into turn number 1. That is Yayo Di Gregorio gonna grab that 6th spot away from Kevin Zwemstra, as Zwemstra continues to fall back. He's back to where he started in P7, but he was up to 5th at one point, gaining 2 spots on the day. He's right back to where he began the race and back to neutral, so to speak, in that 8 machine. He'll have to try and fight back and get that speed back into that number 8. Here is an onboard of, I believe, that first lap incident once again on Yao Di Gregorio, and you can see him split right in the middle, able to keep that car under him going through turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like that direct drive from Di Gregorio actually is put to work. I know Di Gregorio actually drives with a direct drive, so it does help a little bit trying to catch the slide out of that car, and it did, and you can see the confusion going to Honda corner as they go into lap 1. But now Di Gregorio getting some pressure from another Brazilian, and I think that's right behind him, Kevin Zwemstra from the NHR Alcantag. He managed to overtake earlier in the lap. So good running out of Gregorio, coming from P13 all the way up to P7.
On board, Paulo Dreta. Here comes Flavio Dantas. We know how fast that number 2 can be. And right down the straightaway using the slipstream, he's going to work his way up into P number 4 as they race back to turn number 2. Fastest lap of the race. Look at Thomas Torp. He was involved in an incident just a couple of laps ago. And look at him setting the fastest time of the race with a 1:22. He is continuing to fight from P16, but that 1:22.255 fastest lap of the race is up front, still on board with Dantas. Rasmussen and Salvi going side by side for a moment up in front of him. Rasmussen keeps P2, Salvi gonna keep P3, staying on board with Dantas. He has pressure from Dreza behind, but he is on a mission to get up to the front, but he's gonna have a long way to go up to Adrian Falcon. Gap to the lead from second place Rasmussen up to 3.2 seconds.
Yeah, gap is close to everybody. So the European train kind of already sailed off with Falcon from the DRS away of Italy, opening up a 3-second gap on everybody on that 5-car train, as we have 2 Europeans back in P2 and 3, and then 3 Brazilians into routing from P4 all the way up to P6, but everybody fighting too close to one another. I think Flavio might get a really good over here. The setup looks like to be low downforce, but it's some good drag into the main straight as they go into Garner, open up lap number 6.
Battle for second continues here as they race into turn number 1. Adrian Falcon setting the fastest lap of the race. He continues to pull away from this field as look at Flavio Dantas hard on the brakes, trying to make it slow down for turn 2. Salvi still running away in second place, but Rasmussen's right there in second. They traded just a handful of corners ago. Here comes Dantas, gonna make a look to the outside, heading into Honda corner. This is a tough right-hander. He'll slide right back into line, and as they race out of the corner, Dantas able to get close to the back wing of Nicholas Rasmussen. Can he make a move for P3? But as they continue to fight back here, Adrian Falcon continues to pull away. Look at the gap in between them. You saw him in the tail end of that camera shot right there, and then here's the battle for second.
Yeah, here's the battle for second because Salvi is still trying to retain that position out of both Rasmussen's right behind him as they get down from Lukey Heights into the right-hand hairpin, the lowest portion of the track. Now we're shuffling out to second last corner and then getting that major run back to Garner Straight as they're going to open up laps number 7.
On board of Dantas through the final corner. Can he use that slipstream to get by Rasmussen? This seems to be where Dantas is the strongest. Getting a run off turn 12, getting a huge run down the front straightaway and making a move. But look at this, Rasmussen's gonna go to the outside. Salvi trying to cover the inside spot, but look at this, it's gonna turn quickly to the inside. Dantas gonna make a move on Salvi now. He gets down to the bottom for third, and he's gonna take that spot, and Rasmussen able to take back that second place that he wanted. Now here comes Dantas to fight Rasmussen. A great move heading down into turn number 2. And look at Dantas, a harsh move down to the bottom into Honda corner. He's going to make it stick. Dantas to second, Rasmussen back to third.
How does he make that? I could totally see some carnage going up over there and maybe a lock of the race from Dantas, but he makes it work it out just smoothly. Of course, Rasmussen gave him a little bit of a room, but it's really, really interesting, this battle so far. And that kind of brought Draeta actually closer and Svenstra as well. So instead of a 4-car pileup, now you have 5-6 cars close to one another. And we still have about 13 laps to go over here on this track, Josh.
On board with Draeta, who's now in 5th, and you can see him closing on Andreas Salvi in front of him as they race back down the front straightaway. Dantas now up into 2nd, but he has a 4.6 second gap up to that race leader as here comes Draeta to the bottom of Salvi through turn 1. He is not going to get that spot. You can see the 16 knew it would quickly turn into an advantage for him in turn number 2 with a right-hander right into a left-hander. So Salvi able to use that to his advantage. The 16 stays in P4 as they continue to race now into Honda corner. Rasmussen, nothing for Dantas, but take a look up there. Draeta made another look to the bottom of Salvi, not able to get it done in turn 4.
Yeah, knowing that both Draeta and Dantas are very aggressive drivers. I've drove with them in some Brazilian league. They do, if they find the gap to work with, they're going to try to work that gap as best as they can as they go up into Lukey Heights. And that gap never existed going to Honda corner. That was well shoved by Andrea Salvi as they go down the hill into the lowest portion of the track, right-hand side, and now shuffling to the double left. Round out another lap, open up lap number 9. But look at Draeta, he might be doing something over here because he wants that position back because his start was actually very bad, very, very bad. Was shuffled up 4 spots back.
Everybody single file down the front straightaway, nearing halfway done with this race from the virtual Phillip Island. Side by side into turn 2 again. still on the inside. It's advantage for the 16, but he gets loose through the corner, and out of turn 2, it will be Paulo Drejta that is going to walk away with the 4th spot. A great move in turn number 2. The 16 getting loose on the inside. He's now going to have to try and fight back for that 4th spot. Drejta gonna keep that 4th spot now. Is up front. It's still Dantes and Rasmussen. Rasmussen trying to chase him back down for P2. Further battles back there, and 1 car around. The 8 car, Kevin Swemstra around out of turn number 4.
And just as he gets out of Siberia, might get touched on the back. I think that was Thiago Spencer who actually nudged him on the entry of Siberia. As we look on the replay, I think Spencer just overshot his braking into the entry of the corner and shuffled back Svenstra a few spots back. So the NHR all contact now gets shuffled back all the way down to P17. That's really unfortunate.
So Zwemstra now in P17 on the track, down 10 spots from where he started. Yeah, P18 actually out here on the track. Look at Thomas Torp though, fighting from P13, trying to get around Claudio Visparelli. He's gonna power down the front straightaway into turn number 1, and he is going to take that spot down into the first corner. Thomas Torp trying to recover from his earlier incident. He's already back up into P12. We'll see how far he can get up, but look at who is in front of him. Borja Zazo. I don't believe he took a single time in qualifying. He started in 22nd on the grid, is up 11 spots to P11 now, as going around looked to be a car making a move. That was Claudio Visparelli making a move on Thomas Torp again. So Torp's going to fall back to P13, back to his teammate Kjetil Larsen there in 14th.
Yeah, and good move from Visparelli. He actually made it work, as we're seeing all cars going up the hill now into Lucky Heights, and Torp trying to apply some pressure into Visparelli, but I think there will be enough room for Torp to actually make that move and get closer to Visparelli, as they are going to round out one more lap, going to lap 11, 9 to go effectively.
Over halfway done in this race. Can Adrian Falcon hold on? It's been nobody fighting with him since the drop of the green flag. Flavio Dantes sits in 2nd place, just not able to close in quick enough. Thomas Torp making another move on Claudio Visparelli. This time it will stick. Let's see if it will stick down into Honda corner, turn number 4. That is where Visparelli made the move to take 12th place back 1 lap ago. And here they go, diving into turn number 3, Stoner corner into Honda corner, turn 4. Visparelli makes another look to the bottom. He's going to have to fall back into line. The 19 not able to get close enough to open that door. Torp going to stay in P12, trying to catch up to Borja Zazo, who sits in P11. They're all chasing down. 1 car around. That's Borja Zazo that just went around.
Yeah, the Borja Zazo's car just decided to spin its rear end on the exit out of Siberia. As you look at the replay, clean run out of Honda corner, as now going to the apex out of Siberia. Car just decided to step out. Good lockup to try to maintain that car on the tarmac, but gets shuffled back about 2-3 spots now behind Victor Bolea in P13. So now P14 for Zaza, as we see De Gregorio switching back positions with Thiago Spencer.
De Gregorio dives to the bottom, and he's going to take over that 6th spot, working through turns 1 and 2. That'll push Thiago Spencer back to 7th, but Spencer started back in the 10th spot, so still a good day for that number 4 machine, as he'll race behind De Gregorio up in front of him, using that slipstream. Not going to make a move there for 4th. And sorry over the iRacing voice chat from Claudio Visparelli. Not sure exactly what happened to that number 19 machine, but he's still running back in 13th. Doesn't look like any incidents around him. As we say, on the number 12, De Gregorio pulling away from Thiago Spencer and trying to go race up with Andrea Salvi up there for that top 5 spot.
Yeah, let me talk about Andrea Salvi over here because he from Absolute Motorsports, so an Italian outing right here, and number 16 car on this split. Normally you see some of these cars like having the spotlight over here, so he's what would be one of the lowest cars in the top 23 cars we have on this grid. So he's the third lowest in this top 10 in terms of being rated in the grid. So he's number 16, lower than him only Mark Van Dalen in P8 and Ilya Yevstrin in P10 going the number 23. So the last car in this split.
And that last car in this split, Ilya Yevstrin, only has an I rating of 2865. 2865 as one car goes off track. That is Di Gregorio in the 12 that just went off track there at turn 2. What happened to the 12? It looked like another incident that we saw a little bit earlier on from, I believe, Thomas Torp. Yes, it was in the 15. He got a little bit too much coming out of the corner, went too far up, got that rear tire into the grass, and it sucked him right into the sand trap.
Yeah, looks like what happened to Di Gregorio, he got a little bit of an air wash coming out of the center loop, and the car just massively understeer into the sand trap, but managed to bring it back into the track, but lost some time into his teammate. But the car looks really twitchy. He's trying to cool down the tires the best he can, but he's losing ground to his teammate in Thiago Spencer.
On board, Borja Zazo is in front of him, locking up. That's Claudio Visparelli. Can Zazo get back by Visparelli? Remember, just a handful of laps ago, Borja Zazo made a little bit of a mistake going through turn number 6. He's now trying to rally back from that and get by Visparelli for P13. He'll go to the inside, heading into turn number 1. They'll stay side by side. Can he get the spot? Yes, he does. He clears them before he even gets into Duhan corner. Turn number 1. Heading into the southern loop now of turn 2. Visparelli not able to get him back. So the 13 gonna move up into P13. Here comes Visparelli back to the bottom as Zazo makes a mistake on the exit of the corner. It will be a left-hander going through turn 3 Stoner corner, but as they head down into turn 4 Honda corner, gonna turn into a right-hander. Zazo gonna have the inside. Contact made. Off track goes Visparelli. The 19 makes contact with the 13 and off track he goes.
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky one to judge what happened right there. Who's at fault on that corner? As we look on the replay, going to Honda corner, Zazo being very, very aggressive on the entry of the corner, but I think Visparelli just turned way too early into the corner and found Zazo right in the middle of the apex and trying to merge into his line. Unfortunate incident right there, and car still standing still, but shuffled back about 3-4 spots as he goes back into P16.
Focusing now back on the battle with Borja Zazo, catching up to him, Kevin Zwemstra, another driver who made a mistake a little bit earlier on today, trying to rally back from his mistake there in 13th. The 8 car goes to the inside, and he is going to take 12th place from Borja Zazo now as we go side by side. Left side, you're keeping on the battle between Bolea, Zwemstra, and Zazo. On the right side of your screen, excuse me, it's the battle for 3rd place between Dreta and Rasmussen. As on the left side of your screen, side by side, it is Zwemstra and Bolea. We'll focus on that battle now as they head into Honda corner on the outside. That's the 9 of Bolea, Zwemstra in the 8 car on the inside. They exit the corner back into a left-hander, and able to keep that spot in 11th is Victor Bolea. Zwemstra to 12th, but he's not done. He's going to make another peek to the right side, going to turn into the inside here as they enter into turn number 10.
And finding out side by side of Lucky Heights is not the best place for you to fight here, Joshua, but they make you work it out, and Zwemstra tries to be a little bit lady on the brake. He's going to get a little bit of advantage because the apex is his, but going back to the second to last corner, advantage back to Bolea as he managed to retain the lead.
Another fastest lap set by Adrian Falcon in the one, a 1:21.772. 5 laps to go now here from virtual Phillip Island as everybody's shuffling around back here. They are almost 4 wide. They're 3 wide heading into turn number 1, taking the spot. It's Zazo up the middle. Balea in the 9 on the outside. On the bottom side, it's going to be Zwemstra and Agnello joining this fight. Di Gregorio's in it as well. Everybody from 11th on back and around. 2 cars spinning. The 12 of Di Gregorio around. The 8 of Kevin Zwemstra in the grass as well. 2 cars make contact after a 5-car battle, working their way through turn 2.
As they go out of the center loop, I think Zwemstra got blocked off majorly. I want to know who that car was. I think that was Balea blocking off to the exit of the center loop. And right behind Balea, I think the driver of the number 6, Dario Agnello, tried to get into the line, but there was some wheel-to-wheel contact. It does. Zwemstra car just decided to act a little bit weirdly, and Di Gregorio just couldn't avoid that. But let's be honest, that was looking like it would end in tears. It actually did.
Man, but that 3 wide move into turn number 1, I'm surprised they went for that. And you could see 1 car trying to go on the rumble strip to go 4 wide into turn number 1. An insane moment there, and unfortunately it looks like Di Gregorio with more issues in the 12. He spins from P19, self-spinning down in turn number 2. 4 to go now here, and they're 3 wide again, diving into the corner. This is the battle, still in that same spot. It's Balea, it's Zazo, it's Visparelli, or sorry, it's Agnello now. They're all battling for P11. Agnello has that spot. You're on board with Balea, battling for 12th with Borja Zazo in front of him, using the slipstream through turn 3 into turn 4. Look at the evasive maneuver from Borja Zazo there to block that inside line. He's gonna keep the spot. The 9 of Victor Balea gonna try and fight from 13th. 1 car spinning in the background. Not sure who it was, but 1 car, oh, it's 2 cars. Actually, it's Larson and Gestrom Bjakin that went spinning into the Honda corner. Here's the replay. He got into the grass and hard contact.
Yeah, more contact with Larson. Now he's only coming back to the track right now. I want to see that it's Thomas Torp. But Larson just went for a big lunge and hit eventually his teammate. So friendly fire right there, Joshua. The one thing you really don't want to do is hit your teammate.
That is going to give a ton of damage to the 11 of Larson and also a decent amount of damage to the 20 of Gestrom Bjakin. But up in front, Adrian Falcon takes 3 to go as he races down into turn 3. Still battling for this 3rd spot. It's Dreta and Rasmussen. It has settled out just a little bit, but not too much as they race down through turn 3 into turn 4 Honda corner. A little bit too spread out to make a move down into the corner, as it is really 2 battles up here. 3rd and 4th, Dreta versus Rasmussen, and then 5th and 6th, Salvi versus Spencer. And they'll race out of turn number 4. Sorry, out of turn number 6. And Dreta going to keep P3. Rasmussen in 4th. Salvi, Spencer round out the top 6 as everybody fights for last minute spots on the track here, as Adrian Falcon's going to take 2 to go when he comes back to the start finish.
And Adrian Falcon proving why he's been the guy at the forefront of this championship so far. A guy that has been focused quite a lot on the open wheelers. I saw him actually do some qualifiers for the IR01, the Lara IR01 championship, trying to drive for the DRS Wave Italy team. And I think he got some solid results right there, and over here proving why he's one of the best in F3. But still not in the woods yet. One mistake over here can actually undo his race very easily, as we open 2 to go and battle for, I think that is P number 7, I think, is reignited a little bit on the track, but as we are still looking, I think that is Rasmussen out of the loop, out of the center loop.
I love the nickname given in the chat for Adrian Falcon, Captain Falcon, because I think it is a very fitting nickname, because Adrian Falcon, anytime we see him here in the official F3 championship, he is fast, and it has been like that for as long as I can remember covering the F3 championship. but up front, he just always pulls away. And I mean, ever since Flavio Dantas got into second, he's even grown that gap even more, I think by double since Dantas got into P2. Back to the battle for 12th. Balea and Zazo are sparring heading through turn 6. Balea not with the best day. He started up in 5th, now down in P number 12, losing 7 spots. But Borja Zazo can only go up from here after starting 22nd. He's up 9 spots where he runs currently in 13th, but he's looking to make it 10 as he goes right to the back wing through turn number 10, back into 11 as Adrian Falcon takes the white flag.
As he takes on the white flag, let's see if Balea is going to be able to retain that lead on Borja Zazo. The problem is Balea has a little bit of a dent on his front wing. There is some scratches on that wing as now Zazo goes into the outside. The open up the final lap will be a little bit of a straight shootout into turn number 1.
Side by side on the bottom, it's Balea outside Zazo as they head through the right-hander. They go into the left-hander of turn 2, the southern loop. Zazo gonna have the advantage. Does he get a bit of understeer on the exit? No, he does not. Zazo gonna take P12 as battling a bit up. It's Acevedo and Yevstrin. Looks like they're side by side heading into the Honda corner. Getting pushed off track a little bit was Yevstrin. Acevedo gonna keep P9. And they race back through turn number 6, side by side out of the Honda corner once again. It is Zazo. It is Balea. Balea to the bottom in the 9, side by side with the 13 of Borja Zazo. They are wheel to wheel, still side by side as they race down through turn 8, turn 7. But up in front, taking the checkered flag at the start finish, Adrian Falcon with a picture-perfect race from virtual Phillip Island.
And now side by side going down into Lukey Heights. Borja actually locks up the tires a little bit. Now they're going to be nearly actual side by side going to the final turn here, Joshua. This is going to come down to the photo finish.
The 9 car gonna take that spot for the moment. That is Balea. Can Zazo make anything happen in the final effort to the start-finish line? No, he can. He stays in the slipstream, pulls out at the last minute, but it's gonna be too little too late. Balea gonna take 12th. Zazo takes P13 at the line. Visparelli going for more, but Dante Macato is gonna take P16. Claudio Visparelli is gonna be in P15. And everybody else crossing through the start-finish line. And what a perfect race at the end it was for Adrian Falcon to take that win. Here's the full race results as we conclude the race here from virtual Phillip Island. Is Adrian Falcon up in front. Flavio Dantas comes home in second place. Tried to go 2 in a row. Unfortunately, was unable to. Paulo Dreta comes home in third. Nicholas Rasmussen in fourth. Andrea Salvi rounds out your top 5. Thiago Spencer, Mark Van Dalen, Thomas Torp, Diego Acevedo, and Ilya Yevstrin rounds out the top 10. Look at the classification further down the order. Dario Agnello finishes 11th. Victor Balea in 12th. Borja Zazo in 13th. Michael Stanley in 14th with Claudio Visparelli rounding out the top 15. Dante Macchiato, Yael Di Gregorio in 17th. Alexander Scarrett in 18th. Bernie Perez in 19th with Mats Gjeström-Bjaken rounding out your top 20. And down from there to 23rd, it'll be Kjetil Larsen, Kevin Zwemstra, and Victor Barris. That rounds out all 23 cars that took the green flag here from virtual Phillip Island. Lorenzo, it was no shortage of exciting action there. We saw some 3 wide, almost some 4 wide down into turn number 1. I think the excitement that we were expecting from Phillip Island definitely delivered here.
Delivered. I think in bunches. That's why I've said on the start of this broadcast, it's one of my favorite tracks. Easy to drive, not easy to drive. It's hard to drive, but if you can get some good runs over here, it would be amazing. We expected to see some pack racing. We did see some pack racing, some fierce battles, and I can't wait to see what the next track will bring, because we're going to some very funky schedule, because I think next track is Montreal, and Montreal in comparison to this one is not, it's hard times 1,000, to be very honest.
we will be heading to the street course in Canada, built for Formula 1, and we'll see who is going to flirt with the wall of champions in round number 8 of the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship. And then we'll be with you on RaceSpotTV from Zandvoort, Imola, Red Bull Ring, and Silverstone to the end of the season. That is going to do it for coverage here on RaceSpotTV of the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship. For our technical director Hugo Louise, for my colleague in the booth Lorenzo Bonder, my name is Joshua Lee. Congratulations to Adrian Falcon on his win here from virtual Phillip Island, and we thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you in 1 week's time from the virtual Montreal as the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship continues.